Whoa, what is up, No Windy Sleeves Mafia, Fast Switch Nation, FTPL Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the No Windy Sleeves podcast here with a very special guest, the GOAT, founder, co-founder of everything, one of my mentors, father figure, best friends, Dr. Peter Ferraro.
What's happening? It's great to be here finally.
Oh yeah, first one.
And I keep watching these podcasts, I'm like,
when you get the shot, you're the man, you're the man behind everything. So sometimes you got to get you out of your cave that you're always doing all the work and to get you to do some of the fun stuff.
That's exactly right.
But thanks for coming on. I know it's crazy times to be able to block out an hour at the same time with everything, but
it is crazy time. But you know what? It's also exciting times because we've seen what it's like to be kind of up and moving and doing great things, and then just be shut down and
done.
Excited to be back and kind of rock and roll again.
I feel like I really wanted to get you on here because nowadays with businesses, especially small businesses, social media and the faces of the businesses that you see, there's a lot of, I think, thoughts of people that's who's really behind everything is what they see.
Right.
You are old school, where you built your businesses for 25, almost 30 years, the old-fashioned way, not social media. So you're not on social media as much. So a lot of people don't know. All they see is my ugly face. They don't know that you're the man really that got everything that we have started. Yep. And I really want to get out there and really share your story because there's so much uniqueness to your situations.
I don't know if we have enough time for that.
I know, and even just our stuff in the last 3 years, I don't know if we have enough time. Yeah. But I want people to get to know you.
Good, awesome.
So if you want to start, just kind of give us a background, who you are, where you came from, brought up, and the schooling and everything.
You know what? I was born right in Paterson, New Jersey, and both my parents are immigrants from Sicily. Didn't actually speak English until I went to school.
You did?
I did not. Starting school was challenging, but definitely interesting, and just grew up with both parents that worked and saw that there was a certain drive and dedication.
How old were your parents when they came over?
They were in their 20s.
20s.
Yeah. So they came over back in like '68. So it was a different world, man. It really totally different, but. I was fortunate in that I was an only child, which is rare in an Italian household. But they basically both super blue collar, but put money aside to pay for my education, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful for that. That I was able to be in a Catholic school. I actually grew up through the Catholic school environment my whole life. So grammar school. Then I went to Don Bosco, which we have some of our athletes here, which I'm very proud of, and then off to Seton Hall, so kind of Catholic school all the way through, and I think that a lot of that started, how I view the world and how I view being in business and having an ethical relationship with my business partners and growing in a way that is pro-growth for everyone and not step on as many people as you can to get to where you got to be, and I think that's a huge part of how we've developed.
And I can sense that just from spending time with Papa, probably your father, and your mother. Your dad, he's a little older. He's still in here every day working. Yeah. He has that blue collar mentality, and one of the nicest and the most genuine people that I've met. And there's a lot of you, inside him or him, that I think. That's obviously how you build a team and an empire, and it's based off the values that you grew up with.
It is, and I started really young at working. I was my dad at the time had worked for an Italian leather importer where they imported shoes. So I actually would go out to the docks down at Port Elizabeth with some of the truckers that would bring in the stuff from Italy, and it was interesting because here I am, 13, 14 years old, unloading the back of a tractor trailer, 130 degrees in the back of the rig, and you learn quick what it means to make that buck.
I don't want to get too far ahead because I want to get into that a little bit, but that's a background that people don't know. They see you for what you are now and what you've built, and I think a lot of that with everything that's going on, especially social media.
Yeah.
They don't see how you got here. Now, if you don't put it on social media, you didn't do it.
You didn't do it.
So people don't know that you were sweating it in those trucks and
Yeah.
You were a bouncer for a while.
Yeah, it's funny. So I was a little bit bigger back in the day, but actually I was not a bouncer. So it was funny. After I was working, doing the unloading of the docks, I started detailing cars at a Jaguar dealership that my uncle was managing at the time. So I started detailing cars, and then from detailing cars, I started kind of seeing how other folks lived, and so I was going to people's houses, and I was, taking care of all their toys, and kind of nice.
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity to work in a nightclub early on. I was 17 years old, and it was at the time probably the hottest nightclub in New York, New Jersey, and just as a barback, literally huffing, 5-gallon ice fins, carrying beer, champagne cases. But you learn how to deal with people of all types. And I credit a lot of my success to that early on of really being engaged with people. From bar backing to some bartending to then actually having a gig working with a DJ of controlling all like the lights for the shows.
That's awesome.
And then I started chiropractic college, and anytime I would come home, the owner, Eugene, would call me and be like, listen, you know everybody that comes to the club, you know all the VIP guys are, why don't you work the VIP door down at like the Jersey Shore nightclub? And that's how that started,
It's a lifestyle I'd never know anything about. Like
it was a different world. We were GTL before GTL was real.
I saw that on Instagram the other day. A guy said, I forget exactly what he said, but he said one of the OGs.
Original Jersey Shore, 1990, man, back in the day. Yeah.
No one sees that now. I think that's awesome. And when you went to school, so Seton Hall, did you know you wanted to go for chiropractic?
Not at all. So, interestingly enough, I don't come from a family of physicians, chiropractors, nothing, no medical. Matter of fact, in high school, I had always thought that I was going to be an automotive designer. I'm a huge car fanatic, as you know.
Yeah.
I did have a talent in drawing and designing, and so I thought that's what I wanted to do. And I guess right before going into college, I decided I don't know if that was the right choice. I didn't want to work for someone the rest of my life.
So that's where all your small detail stuff, if I send something, that's where it comes from, is designing those little things and drawing the little details.
Definitely.
Makes sense now.
So I decided to go pre-med. When I went to Seton Hall, I had a bunch of friends going to Seton Hall. I figured it'd be a good opportunity, kind of stay local. I was able to work, continue to work while I went to school, which was important for me. And I thought I'd go pre-med and use my artistic talent to maybe become a plastic surgeon.
Oh, shit.
So here I am, pre-med.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking I'm doing. And I joined a fraternity. I'm having a blast. I get hurt playing like flag football with like the fraternity, intra-fraternity. And I got this burner going down my neck, and I go to my doctor. I go to some regular physical therapy. Nothing's helping. Finally, my roommate, his father's a chiropractor, and he's in my fraternity, and he said, just go see my dad. And Dr. Charles Palino, man, I credit everything to him. I went to his office. He fixed me up 1-2 visits. And then every Saturday morning, I would go to his office as an intern and just watch what he did. And I was amazed. I was amazed at how, with just his hands and some tools that he had in his office, he could get people that were crippled coming in, like literally in a wheelchair. And they were walking out, hugging, smiling, kissing them,
That moment you knew.
And that was it. I changed gears right then and there. I stayed pre-med, but I finished up and I decided to go to chiropractic school.
That's awesome. I love those kind of holy shit moments.
Yeah.
I love those because I think that's when you know it's true passion, not something that's forced or you convince yourself. Even for myself, from a chiropractic standpoint, I still don't think there's enough knowledge to the general public out there of how much it actually benefits you.
Yep.
I had never got an adjustment ever in my life.
Sure.
Herniated L4, L5 right before I started working here. Was limping in here.
Yep.
Got a couple. Didn't think I'd deadlift ever again in my life. A couple of treatments by you. Adjustments. I had the decompression machine.
Yep.
Never had back pain since. And I think seeing how much you can help people in a short amount of time.
Well, that's the key. I mean, I think there are so many options out there for different injuries, but our goal is to get people back to what they love as quick as possible.
And you see the smile. I mean, you seriously helped Ashley through her pregnancy with some of that. She'd be like, you need to schedule me an appointment right now. And it was like, she'd come back and be like, how have I not been going to that all this time?
Yeah, it's amazing when when you don't know what it feels like to actually be aligned.
And people get nervous. They're like, I don't trust my dad. It's these guys are
and we have different tools and different things that we use for those people who, don't want to get adjusted. They don't want to hear the crack, right? So we have different mechanisms to realign those joints completely without having that happen. So I mean, look, there are different ways. There's no cookie cutter in our practice, you know that. We find out what's wrong, we figure it out, and we fine tune it.
Oh yeah, I love it. I think the most interesting piece about you, in my opinion, and seeing where you're at now, not knowing you 10, 15, 20 years ago, you didn't work another day in your life as a chiropractor for someone else, did you? Did you?
Only when I was waiting to get my Jersey license. So I worked for a great doctor. He was actually one of my clinicians when I was doing my internship out in Long Island. He had a practice in Staten Island that was all personal injury, auto accidents. That's it.
Okay.
I rolled in my first day after I got my New York license. I show up to work, and that day I saw 100 people. Talk about baptism by fire. So I got a lot of great clinical skill set in treating so many people for almost a year, but I realized that's not the type of practice that I wanted to build on my own. And so yes, of course, do we treat auto accident patients? Absolutely. We treat anybody for anything. And if they happen to have been in an auto accident, we're happy to help them.
So you did that a very short amount of time, and you said, I want to go out on your own. So
that was 96. And then by the time I was able to sit for the Jersey board, it was sometime late 97, early 97. Yeah.
And the entrepreneur, you just said, I'm doing this myself. I know what I need to do.
That's it.
And you opened Ferraro Spine Rehabilitation.
So originally I opened the practice for myself, and I shared space with another practitioner. And we did that together till about 2000, and then we merged. And then over time, we were growing. We had a very successful operation. We got involved in using spinal decompression. I got certified in doing manipulation under anesthesia, really kind of ahead of the curve. We were probably one of the first facilities in New Jersey to offer physical therapy as a chiropractor, and hiring physical therapists. It didn't exist back in the day. So we were very fortunate. And then we just had a falling out amongst partners. We were just on two different paths. I was still wanting to grow in a certain passion of mine in what we're doing. I have a beautiful wife. I had great kids that I want to spend time with. And I think my partner was just in a different trajectory. So we split. We decided to go off on our own. And I stayed here, kind of kept things moving. And then the rest is history. Things kind of really took off exponentially after that happened.
I think that's a big piece. I get asked that question a lot, and I didn't even personally take that big. I took a leap of faith from a non-financial standpoint to leave a pretty good paying job to get into strength conditioning at a volunteer level older. The people that ask, what do I need to do to take that leap of faith, to do something that you love? So you left working for someone else. How was that? How did you convince yourself to take that risk and that burden to say, I'm going out on my own?
I think that you have to have that self-confidence in knowing that if you are passionate about something and you're going to hit it at 100% every day, there's no way but to succeed. It may not be in the trajectory you think, it may not be at a complete incline. There's going to always be those peaks and valleys. You're always going to get thrown a curveball like we just saw with COVID.
I think that's something, and that's something that I actually find myself saying a lot to anyone that asks me about taking the leap of faith, or even the starting something on your own. And a lot of our business partners and our other businesses this might be their first time, being self-made. All these guys that we follow and we look up to from a business who started from the bottom, they're not just saying it because it's cool that they slept on the couch in the back of their store for the first 7 years. Like, you're not going to leave your job, start another business, and in 2 weeks, it's going to suck.
It's going to suck.
It's much like,
and it did suck.
Yeah, and we felt a little bit of that. I mean, thank God when Fast Switch opened here, which we'll get into. You had something that you wanted to build Fast Switch as a part of, but it was kind of there. It wasn't like you put this in the middle of nowhere.
Correct.
But you're 12, 14, 16, 20 hours. I always say, I tell people all the time, like, if Dr. Ferraro and I go 24 hours, I'm talking vacations, when I'm on my, I mean, we were on the phone when we were on my honeymoon. We were still doing stuff. If we go more than 24 hours without having a phone call, it's very rare.
It's extremely rare.
Very rare. Even this weekend, we're just checking in on each other via text, talking about business stuff, because when it's yours, yourself, it engulfs you.
Well, what we talk about all the time is, and we had this conversation yesterday, about decisions we make every single day impact not only who we are as individuals, it impacts everybody. But financially, there's nobody sitting there that's going to write us a check because we show up to work. Right? So if we're not on 24/7, we don't get paid.
Yeah, and every
it's as simple as that.
That's a hard line.
Yeah.
We just had this pretty deep conversation last week, which, like I said, I'm still learning stuff from you every day. That was a learning something for me. Being able to draw the line of your personal feelings and understanding the effects of the relationship. And I think one of the things you said to me was, Robert's one of your best friends, you care about him a lot, right? I said, yeah. I said, well, if you put up a dumb fucking post on social media and we lose 10 clients and we can't pay this, and then he's on the street, and then what?
Right.
You have 12 other people you have to take care of. You have 30 other people under you that you have to take care of. Then your family and everything, and those little decisions, even though at that moment you're emotionally and personally invested in it.
Absolutely.
How it can correlate down into your business, that's a difficult thing.
Yeah, it's no longer making a decision because you feel like it. It's like playing chess all day, every day. Every single decision is an action and a reaction.
How was that? Very different climate, obviously, when you started Ferraro Spine to now. When you were building this, what strategy, what style did you use to build what you did without having the social media resources or even the Facebook marketing ads?
Old school guerrilla marketing.
Which you still go out and do.
A business card and my hands and feet. I mean, it was literally knocking on doors, walking into businesses, introducing myself, telling them why we built a better mousetrap. And we still do it to this day.
Yeah. Well, you pride yourself, I notice, a lot on customer experience. Yeah. You sign up, you're getting a nice thing in the mail, you're engaging and interacting. You'd rather spend 20 minutes and give someone a really good treatment than just pump through 100 people.
100%. I mean, we've never been a volume-based practice. We've always been take whatever time you need for that individual and make sure that you are invested in their success. Because ultimately, if they succeed with the care, they're going to tell 10 other people. And that's really the goal. I mean, the vast majority of our patients come from other patients.
Yes. Yeah, more the organic growth from referrals because they loved coming here. So
right, and like now, are we on social media? Of course, you have to be, just to show that you're even there.
Yep.
But we don't drive our business from our social media encounters. We just show people what we're doing. We drive our business by being successful at getting people better. And then they tell other people how great it is, and then they come.
And that's the mindset that you've pushed me through, because obviously I'm not a millennial, I'm right before it, but I grew up with it, And so, why aren't we running paid Facebook ads? It's going to target people specifically. Say, we just want to use social media to show people what we do, but our quality of the product, and I consider services a product.
100%.
That's our product.
We're in the service industry, right? People want to think that service industry only means, when you go and you're being served on by someone. At the end of the day, if you deliver an experience, you're in the service industry.
Yep. And that's our product.
That's our product.
So we want to show and provide the best quality product, and if we do that, people will know who we are and what we do.
And it's the little things, right? What makes an experience? It's not just the communication that you or I have with that one individual. It starts at the first phone call. It starts at the visit to the website. It starts when they walk in and they're greeted by the person that's at the front. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? All those things, right? It's the Disney mentality. You have to hit people on all of their senses for them to actually embrace what it is that you're trying to sell them.
That's why I'm so big on, I don't care who's on the floor training people. If someone walks in the door, Garrett, what up, Anthony? What up? Hey, someone new. I don't care if it's for your kind of work. You run over, introduce yourself. As soon as you walk in the door, I want you to feel like you're a part of our family.
Correct.
And especially going somewhere new for the first time, and even down here is different than upstairs.
It means a lot.
It can be intimidating.
It's funny because it is different. When you go upstairs, there's a feel, and when you come downstairs, there's a feel. But there is a cohesiveness to the feel, even though they are completely different in the vibe
Yep.
that we're throwing off because of the people that are coming in for both.
Exactly.
But there is that cohesiveness in that we all want to deliver that experience.
Exactly. And that's how you're going to build your name, your reputation, your brand. Well, to get back onto kind of your journey.
Sure.
So you're upstairs. We're going to fast forward 2016, I would assume, is when you started having the preliminary discussions.
Yep.
You have this space down here. You were running just as a little space for some post-treatment stuff.
Yeah. We had a spin-off that was just Ferraro Functional Fitness. It was really for those patients that were graduating physical therapy, but were really concerned about going back to a gym because they didn't want to hurt themselves or re-injure. So I had brought on Andrew, actually, who's now our lead performance specialist, to help kind of fill that need. And so Andrew helped us really kind of starting the process of taking those postgraduate physical therapy patients and bringing them into an exercise platform.
And that was early 2017.
Yeah.
Right, so you had him and you were bringing some people.
Yep.
And what made you want to take it from that and grow this big fast switch brand with multiple facilities around the country?
Yeah.
That were
Well, I saw how great the success was for our patients. And then I started looking at some of our athletes that were coming in, and they would be like, well, can I just go down and train down there? Because that looks awesome. And so we started getting some high school kids training. And I said, well, wait a second, why aren't we opening this up to the public? Why are we keeping this just as only postgraduate physical therapy? And so I started looking at different facilities out there in the world that were doing some great things. And I was introduced to the guys down in Miami originally, the original Fast Twitch guys, and I fell in love. I fell in love with the vision. I fell in love with the visual effects of what Fast Twitch meant, from the professional videos and how the gyms looked. And I immediately started taking steps to create a Fast Twitch facility here. And then fast forward, we bought the rights and the whole kit and caboodle, and now we own it all.
Now we're moving it out.
That's it. It's not just you and I spitballing stuff all day that people are actually seeing. Well, wait a second. Now we have a deal with the NFL alumni to build out 35 Fast Twitch facilities nationwide. Right? A lot of people don't even know that that's a thing.
Yep.
Right? So it's a thing.
And it's coming.
And it's coming. And so now it's about building the right partnerships and the right opportunities for the right people to come on board to help us succeed at that vision.
And a lot of people too, they think these things just pop up. Mm-hmm. They'll be like, well, you've been working on trying to get more fast switches with this for a while. Taking our time and everything, like I said, you do is very detail oriented to the smallest minute detail. Yeah. Making sure they're the right people, the right business, the right locations, making sure everyone has the same image is very important, because I think we do get ahead of ourselves, because we're so excited to build out these things, and we just want to. You said global domination, and I 100% agree. We want to dominate the world in helping people.
Correct.
Chiropractic, your practice, the gym, the movement, the supplements. Everything is a service or a product to help people. And I would say millionaire byproducts. Like, we want to be millionaire as a byproduct of the services that we're providing.
That's always been the goal, right? Provide the best service, and the money will come.
Exactly.
You can't put the dollars before the passion. You can't put that before the goal,
Yep.
You have to treat people correctly, you have to do things responsibly, ethically, and if you do that, money comes.
And I think sometimes that might be our hindrance. That might hinder us, you and I.
I think it does.
We care so much about people. I'll spend an hour training someone or teaching someone for free.
Yep.
And turn down money for that hour because I'm like, I don't care about the money. I want to help this person.
And ultimately, that will be our true success, right?
Yep.
Because we're not putting the dollar in front of the service.
Yeah, and I think so much of what we do, just a lot of my mindset on everything was learned from you, taught from you. I went to school, I had a little bit of a business background. This wasn't in strength conditioning, I didn't even go to school for. So I'm still learning a lot about how to run a business and all that stuff. The one thing I knew how to do was just people.
Right.
And just because I cared and interact well. And so do you, so our visions are on the same.
Yeah.
And everything that we usually do, we're on the exact same page with as we're trying to grow it.
Which is great. I mean, because we do come from, different generations.
Yep.
But yet we are 1,000% aligned in the vision. So of course there's going to be things that we have to address as they come up, and we do. And I could say I had no formal business background training, right? My is purely learn as you go. Make a ton of mistakes, fix them, don't make them again.
We always talk about that. We've addressed it in staff meetings. Like, there's going to be bumps in this road, but guess what? The fastest way we're going to learn is by failing.
You got to hit
and
them.
not freaking out about failing and understanding that's the only way to learn. If you don't fail or have things that you have to overcome, you're just going to stay right here.
Yeah, it's okay to feel the pain.
It's not failing if you're learning from it.
That's it, man. You feel the pain, you motivate you to not feel that pain again.
And we learned that with a lot of the stuff we did with the original launch of the BCAs. We know that's a quality, the best formulas in the country, but we didn't do a good job promoting it, making it to what exactly people want.
Well, that was a prime example to where we put the ingredients and what we wanted for people to ingest in front of profits.
Yep.
And that's okay, because we learned that there's a certain way to run things that are going to be profitable or not. Where we should have done, and now we know, right? Hindsight, 2020. We needed to leverage more assets up front. We needed to have more money backing us before the launch.
Yep. Because
that would then give us the opportunity to market to a different pool that we didn't
and those
have
are all
access
learning,
to.
and that's a big loss. It could be a big hit like that, but we're still smiling about it because we know we have this relaunch with a better line coming with all new strategies that we've already learned.
Right.
And I always talk about self-reflection. We can sit here and say we fucked up.
100%.
And we know that what we learned from it, so we're sitting here smiling. So we know what's coming is going to be bigger and better.
Yeah, and I think we relied upon all of us as partners to do certain things, and some of those things just never materialized. And so I think in going forward, as we start looking at different partners or different investors, we start looking at it in a different light, where it's not just about any money that anyone brings to the table, it's what do they bring to the table for themselves. What's the work ethic? What is the drive? What are the benchmarks that we expect? Yeah. Those are the intangibles that we have to address up front, not just that somebody's willing to put down a check.
That's why I call it the dream team. I mean, it's taken time to build this team of the partners for FT Performance Labs because they were all hand-selected.
Yeah.
We're turning away people offering to invest because we have our team and we know it's not about the money that they have to invest. It's
not at all.
The production, what they could work for. And I think that was something that we missed out on too.
Yeah.
Just because we all have full-time jobs, we're trying to run 2 self-sustaining businesses.
Yep.
There's already a minimal hours in the day.
Yeah, there is a strain on our time.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But I think by bringing those people on that we have hand-selected, whether it be for Ferraro Spine, whether it be for Fast Twitch, whether it be for FTPL, we have brought together great team members. And I think that's going to be the ultimate success. Yes, has it taken longer than we would have liked? Of course. But ultimately, I think we have a much more sustainable future.
Yes.
By waiting for those people to come into our
I try to, when we're looking at new partners or businesses, take the money aside, I try to really base it off, can I have a similar working relationship as I can with you? I tell people this all the time. You made me a partner and an owner in Fast Switch.
Yep.
We're best friends. We work together, we came to my bachelor party, my wedding,
100%.
There's a respect and a professional relationship. If you still tell me to get something done, it's asked for my time and done, and yes sir, no sir. There's a line that some people cross, and I think it does affect a lot of business partnerships. They say don't go into business with your friends or family.
No, agreed. And I think that people can't dissociate the two. And I think that the reason why we are successful is because even if I do need something done, I'm asking you that I need to have something done, and I give you the reason why I need it to be done, so that we're on the same page as to why it should be there. And it's never go do this because you work for me. And I think that's why we've been able to really jump from being, just you coming on board as an employee to you being a partner, not only in Fast Switch, but a full partner in our nutraceutical program.
Yeah.
I think that's been the key in how we've been able to jumpstart you from not being a part of anything to being a major partner in all of it.
Yes, and I think it's, like I said, it's the respect. You put me here, I still view you as here because you lead, you don't boss, which is seen across your practice as well. And I think when you can do that and lead by example, like a lot of people say, oh, their boss isn't coming to work today. Nice, show that. I look forward to Monday, Wednesday, Thursday better because I know I'm going to get more done because you're here, rather than I be like, oh, it's Friday, Doc's not coming up, I'll take it easy. No, I look more forward to the days you're up here because I know we'll get more stuff done, and it's not that type of relationship. But that's why it takes so long to build out these teams, and I think people are blinded by the dollar amount that people are willing to invest for whatever equity, and we know, money without backing or money without...
it's called dumb money.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
No, definitely not. And that's why I think too, the overall vision of everything that you have, building the family oriented. I think to get into that a little bit, towards the end, you're a family guy. I mean,
100%.
You said you're
everything
children.
I do is solely for my family, right? So it's my home family, right? My wife, my kids, my parents, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law. I mean, these are the people that are, the closest to me. But if I don't have my work family operating at that same level of integrity, then I don't have for them either, right? So I view everyone that is affiliated with us as our family.
And that trickles down, and I think that's the feeling that people get. Because you can't fucking lie your whole life, right? So if you put on a persona that's who you are, you're a family guy, something's going to come out there you're not. It's your true values, you're authentic. That's who you are. Right. So it trickles down from from your parents to you, to your family, down south, to your employees, to your partners, and that's something that I think a lot of people look up to. I definitely do. I try to do that, and taking care of everyone, especially Ashley, my new baby girl. It changes all the perspective.
It changes everything.
And again, that's something that I really admire of yours. But to wrap up, I don't want to drag you on too long from getting some work done upstairs. But if you have one thing to say to anyone out there about following your passion, doing what you love, or building the empire that you want, what would your advice to them be? Yeah,
I think just don't be scared. And I think that there's so many resources out there now to help people get to where they want to be. They just need to take that first step. They need to find something that they're passionate about. It sounds cliche, right? But you just don't want to be in a job that you hate being at. There's nothing worse in life. I mean, you're a captive. So if you could just find something you're passionate about and then just go and align yourself with people that think like you do, there's nothing stopping it.
Living with a little bit of Coach Rick's advice to live with a little more fuck it. Probably worst advice he ever gave me.
No, it's true, man. No, it's very true.
And it's also a lot of self-confidence. Yeah. I think that's what it was with me when I make decisions now. It's like I know if something happens, having a kid for me has taken stress away from me about finances. Because I know if something happened, I'll figure it out. I'll make it work,
But there's 24 hours in a day, there's 365 days in a year, right?
Yeah.
If we have to work all of them, we'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's confidence in knowing your ability and what you're willing to do for your family. But I think, I agree, just don't being scared. Trust yourself.
Trust yourself and align yourself with the right people.
I love it. Well, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to pop back on here again, definitely sometime soon. Talk about where we've been and then probably our new ventures. But I appreciate you coming on.
Always a pleasure.
We'll link up soon. Thank you guys for watching or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode of the No Windy Sleeves podcast.
Sounds good.